Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on BogRadio.fm. We are talking about the Marvel Universe today, and I've got my two nephews here with me today, Andre and Diogo.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
What's going on? Everything good? Everything good?
Good,
Everything-
doing well in this Miami heat.
Yeah. Well, you guys are down in Florida. What's the temperature like down there?
Oh, it's bad. It's mainly humid more than anything, but it's like in this 80s, 90s, maybe even hundreds.
Gonna have my
Okay,
son.
I want to go.
What? Say that again, Andre.
No. Continue. My apologies.
Oh no, it's all good. I'm going to have my son Gabriel is joining us here momentarily. We're going to be talking about the Marvel Universe today and all of the different aspects and facets of that great franchise. But before we get started, I want to listen. You know, the Christian world, Christian filmmaking, you know, they do a lot of different things that are antithetical to Hollywood, but what do you got? Do you think Christian filmmaking should get involved with the superhero genre?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It would definitely shed a different light in the MCU. That's not really currently shown now. So yeah, it would be awesome if they had some Christian
I
filmmaking.
think it would be awesome simply because if you look at what's happening with Marvel's Endgame was the number one grossing film of all time at the box office.
Oh yeah.
Okay. A superhero that tells you that most people prefer that. Like that's where the real fans are for the superhero genre. So if there was ever anything that someone would in the Christian filmmaking community would want to investigate, why not superhero? I mean, last time I checked, Jesus was a superhero. Anyway, so anyway, but I just wanted to throw that question out. But you look at the Marvel Universe, and ever since the Endgame, as I stated, it was the number one grossing film of all time. And ever since that film, they've kind of been struggling. You know, it's like trying to find their identity. And my question to you guys is, in your opinion, what is the current state of the Marvel films universe since Endgame?
Well, the current state right now is pretty bad. It went on a slow decline after Endgame. They went all over the place with all these different Disney like Disney Plus series and all that stuff, and it was just they were dishing out like more quantity over quality, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's all about thinking that the public, the fans will just accept anything they do just because they're Marvel.
Oh yeah.
And that's not the case. I mean, if you look at the Avengers, it's like I think it all kicked off with the Iron Man film, and it just kind of like just took a high trajectory ever since. And so the characters have to be believable, the actors have to be, you know, perfect for the part. Like Robert Downey Jr. is a perfect Iron Man, and Chris Evans is a perfect Captain America. Scarlett Johansson is a perfect Black Widow. You know, it just goes on, and everything's got to line up. You can't just throw the fans anything. But you know, I asked, why is it struggling to maintain their audience at the box office? But think about the Black Panther, for example. When Chadwick Boseman passed away, the Black Panther, in my opinion, with Chadwick Boseman, was getting ready to get into that rare air space.
Yeah,
I agree with.
There was definitely there was talks about Chadwick Boseman, like the Black Panther, being the leader of the Avengers. So after his passing, it was a hard toll. Like it took a hard toll on the MCU. They had to like completely change scripts and change the whole storyline of things.
So the question now is there anybody out there that could possibly continue the role and maintain the momentum of Black Panther that Chadwick Boseman left off?
Well, they definitely set it up for in the most recent Black Panther movie with Black Panther having a son. So there's a lot of different good actors that would definitely perfectly fill that role, but it would definitely be a hard choice on Marvel executive to very neatly and carefully pick that role for whoever's going to play it.
If you think about Wakanda and all of the aspects that came along, I mean, it was a real craze. Chadwick Boseman just started a craze with Black Panther. There's no question
Yeah.
about that. And with his passing, I think they are still set up. The Black Panther franchise, as it were, is still set up to be great. You just got to find someone to take that spot. Some people have said, go get Idris Elba. You know,
Yeah. He would be
maybe. I
good.
mean, I don't know. Maybe he could fill that spot. But it's all about finding the right guy and the right person that could. Let's face it. The Marvel universe right now is in need of someone to come and save them. They need the Avengers to come back and save them, but they're in trouble. And it's just not happening for them right now. Like you said, Diogo, they've come up with all these different ideas on the, I guess, Disney Plus platform in the form of a TV show, making a little series and what have you. I think Loki was a very popular
Yeah,
series.
Loki, Moon Knight was kind of like iffy. A lot of fans didn't really like it, but in my personal opinion, it was very good, very set up for like Oscar Isaac to be Moon Knight. But then shows like She-Hulk and like Winter Soldier and the Falcon, they weren't too good.
No, they were not. And as
They
you
dropped in
mentioned, the
value.
Falcon, you wonder because the character, I forget his name, the actor's name that plays Falcon is going to be the new Captain America.
Oh yeah.
Is it Mackie? I think I can't think.
Yeah,
I think it's Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie is going to be the new. Hey, Mama. Anthony Mackie is going to be the new Captain America, and from what I understand, they're planning a Captain America 4. They're calling it Cap 4. When is that due to come out?
Well, I think it's around 2025, 2026 that is going to come out. Supposedly is going to delve deep in Captain America fighting against the kind of like the bad version of the Avengers. Like they have the Red Hulk, they have like I'm pretty sure Hawkeye was in it. Too bad they kind of butchered Taskmaster, and Taskmaster would have been in that team.
Yeah, you would. You could have done so much with Taskmaster.
But yeah, that's pretty much
So I think I don't know how they're going to do Cap 4, but I'm highly intrigued. If you do a Cap 4, I think there's a small possibility that you could get that Avengers audience to come back out, even if it is Anthony Mackie. I mean, okay, finally, because this stuff with the TV shows, enough of that.
Yeah.
You need to get the feature films.
It was good in the beginning, like one or two, but then they kept on dishing out so many TV shows, and they kind of were butchering these beloved characters that like they should have had more of a spotlight on a film rather than a series.
So now the other franchise within the MCU universe is Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think they've got 3 films out that they've completed. Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome. I'm just going to tell you right now. Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome. And you look at them and you wonder, hey, can these guys possibly come into that mold? Michael J. Patterson says Idris Elba, Chiwetel Ejiofor would be a good one as well. I think about him, John Boyega. And they said so to be recasted for Black Panther. I forgot about Chiwetel, who did 12 Years a Slave, and he was in Inside Man with my gosh, Denzel Washington. And by the way, Mike Patterson, I'd vote Mike Patterson to do Black Panther as well. Michael won the Best Supporting Actor Award at the International Christian Film Festival this past May in Orlando, Florida, for his role in the film Undefiled. Very good actor. And I also had a chance to be with him in the film Love Different in 2016. But I like those ideas. I mean, you know, Idris Elba, you know, Chiwetel Ejiofor, John Boyega. Hey, look, Black Panther is set up to go to the next level. It's set
Mm,
up right now.
it's set up. It's just for Marvel to kicking that metaphorical ball into the goal.
So so getting back to Guardians of the Galaxy, I mean, they're also set up as well. But from what I understand, they're not thinking about doing a fourth one. What's the deal on
No.
that?
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy, that last movie, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, was meant to close Guardians of the Galaxy as a team. Like Rocket Raccoon and Drax, those characters, they're not going to be in it. But then at the end, they did say that Star-Lord, I forgot the name of the actor, but the actor for Star-Lord is
Chris Pratt.
yeah, Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is going to be playing Star-Lord again, hopefully in Secret Wars. But yeah, he's definitely going to reprise that role again.
Guardians of the Galaxy, they better keep working with that.
Mm,
Because those are some great films. They're funny
yeah.
and the storyline is great. The raccoon's hilarious and everything about that film is great. You can't
Mm.
stop making Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Cannot stop.
Mainly
If they
mainly
want to stay
because
in the
James
franchise.
yeah, mainly because James Gunn as a director made it so that like even Chris Pratt said that the reason why Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did so well was because James Gunn made it a James Gunn movie rather than an MCU movie. He didn't really abide by the rules that they were giving him and all that stuff. He was kind of going outside of the box.
Well, and then James Gunn, I believe, got into some trouble. There was some controversy in his personal life, and I don't know if
Mm,
they wanted him to continue to film it. But
yeah.
they brought him back, and all of those films, the Guardians of the Galaxy films, are great. Now you look at
Mm,
Robert Downey Jr. and you look at his portrayal of Iron Man, and let's go back a little bit. You guys are too young. I know you don't remember the first Marvel film, but it was called Blade. No, it's not Blade.
yeah.
It's not Blade. I can't even remember the name of the film. It was with Wesley Snipes, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah, it was
played.
Blade.
Wait.
Blade.
Was it Blade?
Yeah, it was Blade.
Okay, it was Blade.
I remember that. That
Okay, it
was a
was
really
Blade.
good
It's
movie.
Blade. Okay, so that came out like I want to say in the '90s, and it kind of fell off, and they didn't do another Marvel film, and that was a really good film, but they didn't do another one. Blade,
Mm,
indeed, Mike. And then after that, I think you had. Oh gosh, you had a series of DC films. Superman, I think the Man of Steel had come out maybe during that time, but Marvel just didn't do anything for a while, and then all of a sudden they popped up with Fantastic Four, and that
mm,
didn't do very well at all for whatever reason. And they did Fantastic Four again, and it still didn't do well for whatever reason because it's a great read as a comic book. Matter of fact, you could argue that Fantastic Four as a comic book might be the best. I mean, you could argue
yeah.
it. It was really,
Yeah.
really great comic book, but they
It,
never translated that to the screen. I don't know why.
mm,
They did a third one and it didn't work for whatever reason. My theory is that they could never get the thing right. Like, you know
mm,
what I mean? It's like the costumes for the thing were preposterous.
yeah.
It's like you're
Like
insulting my intelligence now.
yeah, superheroes movies like up until like before Iron Man were it was definitely a risky thing to go into for directors and actors. Even actors that play superhero movies like some of like the characters that we see in MCU today, like before they
Yeah.
said that like, oh, if you're in acting, don't do a superhero movie.
Yeah, and so it was really going bad. And Chris Evans, who plays successfully Captain America, was the original Human Torch in the first Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they went to Michael B. Jordan in the third one, I think the third iteration. Nobody wanted Michael B. Jordan to be the Human Torch.
Mm,
Okay. And then that actually brought out some racists at that point. It's like, we don't
yeah.
want a black Human Torch. Anyway, that being said, they never got the thing right. And so they're going to
Mm,
do a fourth one now, from what I understand. That's in the works. And I'm just hoping they can get this one right. Fantastic Four has a chance, if they get it right, to revitalize the Marvel universe after Endgame. What's your opinion of that, guys?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think Pedro Pascal is gonna be playing Mr. Fantastic, and they're gonna cast one of the actors for from Stranger Things for Human Torch. So it's definitely gonna be very 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 high hopes as of right now. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they can get this. I love the comic book Fantastic Four. I mean,
Mm,
it was great. I mean, Ben Reed and all those guys. On that, it was Michael Patterson says, "I truly hope they get it right this time." Fantastic Four flopped hard. It flopped hard, like I said, 3 times, and it just like, come on, guys, you can't mess Fantastic Four up.
yeah,
Okay,
it,
you
it
just can't do it. So you look at that and you go,
mm,
okay, maybe they get that right. So you had those films fail, and then they did another one, a Marvel film during that time that did not do Hulk. They never got the Incredible Hulk right.
yeah.
I couldn't understand that one either. It's kind of like The Thing, like that.
Mm,
That's a creation on screen. You've got to get right, or you're going to insult the audience's intelligence. And
mm,
I don't think the Hulk was as bad as the Thing. Like the Thing was ridiculous.
yeah.
Their attempt to portray him on the screen, it was just ridiculous. But the Hulk
Mm,
wasn't that bad, but the films didn't hit you like you were expecting them to. I think Edward Norton did the second Hulk, or maybe it was the third. I don't know. That was the best of the 2 or 3 that they had done.
mm,
There was a scene in that movie, the greatest scene I've ever seen in a superhero film, as wanting as this particular iteration of the Hulk was with Edward Norton, was the scene when he was on the gurney and they were getting ready to, hit Bruce Banner with the power and turn him into the Incredible Hulk, and his girlfriend was right there on his side.
mm.
And man, when they hit that button and Bruce Banner started arcing his back and all his facial expressions and the gyrations and whatnot, and all of a sudden, man, he's turning into the Hulk and all this stuff. I mean, now he's full blown Hulk. I mean, he's
Yeah.
raging, and dude, his girlfriend jumped up in his face, and I mean, her eyes were right on his eyes. She locked eye contact with him, dude. And that monster calmed completely down. That, I tell you right, that's one of the best scenes, if not the best scene I've ever seen in a superhero film. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it was a pretty good scene.
They took the audience through an emotional roller coaster through all of that.
yeah.
What's gonna happen? The Hulk is so unpredictable. Everyone, the audience, probably thinking, "What's gonna happen?" No idea.
And it's such a character that like to non like superhero fans, it seems like just like a very basic scientist that just turns to a big green guy. But there's a lot of depth to that character that not many people see like back then, but people definitely see it now.
Well, it's the power of a woman on a man.
Mhm.
That's what that scene spoke. I
Yeah.
mean, the power that a woman has over a raging man, the power of love, even
Mhm.
more than the power of a woman, the power of love can, completely deconstruct rage.
Mhm. Oh yeah, most definitely.
And when you when you're watching the Hulk man beat the Hulk like this raging green guy, dude, and then she just jumped up and got in his face and stared him down, with love. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm.
oh wait a minute, oh I love her. This is the love of my life. Wait a minute, hold on, and for that rage to go away. Man, anyway, I kind of digress. What's up, Gene? But they didn't get the Hulk right. They just didn't get the film quite right. They weren't bad, but
Mhm.
you were like, come on, guys, you can do a little bit better. So, and I may have some of this wrong. You guys feel free to correct me. So then we get to the Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. After the Hulk, they even like when I think the most like last Hulk before the Iron Man, they had an end credit scene where Robert Downey Jr. was talking to that current actor. I think it was a different actor, not the current actor for Hulk, but it was a different one. But it was basically teasing like Avengers and all stuff. And then a setup for Iron Man and all.
So you get the first Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr., and he was the perfect Tony Stark.
Mm.
Yeah,
That was
no one can take that from him. He's got that one.
No one can take that from him. But it was kind of like the combination of his great portrayal of Tony Stark and just the way that the Marvel film presented Iron Man and some of the things that he did in the film, you could see in the comic book. Like, man, it jumped off the page. Like,
Yeah, because
that's exactly what Iron Man would do. You know?
Yeah, because it wasn't too hard for Robert Downey Jr. either, because him as a person, his personality is just Tony Stark all the way.
Oh, he's Tony Stark all the way. And really, Tony Stark, the comic book character, was actually kind of stoic. So Robert Downey Jr. made Tony Stark into his own creation. And everybody loved it. Like,
he made him more like charismatic and like, oh, he's at the top of the world with all this.
Well, he's kind of like he's charismatic. He's a smart aleck. He's funny, and the jokes that he was making, which were sometimes crass and kind of like, again, it's just smart alecky. The audience is like, yeah, I like that. I would say that too. So so he just kind of, Robert Downey Jr. actually, in my opinion, with his portrayal of Iron Man, began the rise of MCU. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh yeah, most definitely, and mainly because, in my opinion, is because up until that point, superhero movies were all about people getting powers and like supernatural powers and all that stuff. This is one of like the first live action superhero movie that had somebody who can be anybody else, literally just with money, and be a superhero. So it was more down to earth in that aspect. So then that's how many people could kind of like see themselves as being Iron Man.
Yeah, and again, getting back to my previous statement about the comic book, I mean, he literally portrayed what you would read. Like, that's how it reads. That's exactly how it reads. Not only that, Iron Man is kind of a cult following if you're a comic book reader. I mean, obviously everybody knows who Spider-Man is. Everybody loves Spider-Man. And it wasn't hard to make a good Spider-Man film. They were all good. But Iron Man is kind of like one of those cult following. And it was for those people that are like really Marvel. You see what I'm saying? The Invincible Iron Man is read by real Marvel comic book readers. So when they got it right, that's when the real Marvel followers came out in droves. In droves. They're like, that's it. That's what we've been looking for. That's the authentic representation of what I've been reading. It's not like those stupid Batman and Robin movies that they came out with back in the 80s. It's like, this is like a joke. So you didn't laugh with them, you laughed at them. You went to the movies to laugh at Batman and Robin, you dipsticks. Anyway, that being said, so we wanted to see a real representation of what we were reading. And that's what I feel Iron Man did with the portrayal, with Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal and the way that they did the film. And it just took off. And, we go to Iron Man 2. And then I think in Iron Man 2 is when Captain America is introduced. Am I right or wrong about that?
Captain America was first introduced.
He had his own movie.
I think it was Iron Man 2, or it was Iron Man 2. Yeah, I think in the end credit scene it showed them uncovering like Cap's shield under the ice, and then it's set up for the Captain America First Avenger movie.
Okay. And then Chris Evans is the perfect Captain America. I mean, I don't think you could have found anyone better to play that role than Chris Evans. He nails it. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on bogradio.fm, talking with my nephews, Andre and Diogo Cunha, and we're just breaking down the Marvel universe. And also, it's also like you look at this, Christian filmmaking needs to invest into this superhero genre. I'd love to see more of that. There's kind of like been maybe little, just a little attempt here and there to do it. But I think it's something that should be investigated. But we're looking at the Marvel universe right now. And after Endgame, which was the highest grossing film of all time in any genre, they've been struggling and trying to figure out how to come back. And my feeling is there's two things. Because when you're reading comic books, if like Superman died, there have been comic books where they say Superman is dead on the cover. And people are like, oh, Superman, he's dead. And then all of a sudden he's alive again in the 6 editions after that. He's back.
Yeah.
And nobody got mad. Said, oh, great, he's back. Good. Don't kill him. Well, maybe the Avengers should think about that. What do you guys think of that?
Wait, repeat the question again.
So so clearly the Avengers are dead, basically. I mean, for all intents and purposes, after Endgame, they're dead. It's over. And I think sometimes if you can't figure out how to come back as an entity, as a franchise, as it seems MCU is having a great problem with trying to figure out how to come back. Just bring all the guys back. Just make up some cockamamie story about them coming back and start doing the films again. What do you think of that?
Well, there wouldn't be any weight to their death in the previous film. Like, it would just be all for nothing.
It would. I wouldn't think that going that route, because mainly because even the acting themselves, like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, they're not going to be playing those roles again. Like, I think it was something that Robert Downey Jr. had said that if he were to do an MCU movie, Tom Holland would have to be in it. Like, it would have to be another like Spider-Man type movie.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the best route for them to go for is just try and make up some, not make up, but like try to really spend time with the things that people want.
Like, could continue the actual timeline, like with Tony Stark's like son, or like into the future. There's so many things you can do.
Well, maybe not that. Mainly with Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Tom Holland, and also also new characters like in Hawkeye. Hawkeye was one of the Marvel series that were actually pretty good. They set up Kate Bishop as kind of like a younger, or like kind of like a prodigy of a student of Hawkeye. And I think from then, like from here, I think they're setting up maybe for a younger Avengers, like young Avengers, with like newer versions of the Avengers, like with Chadwick, like with Black Panther's son that they showed in the Black Panther movie. They have Kate Bishop. They have Tony Stark's daughter that she might be playing another version of Iron Man. And there's a lot of different characters that could probably create a new Avengers. But as of right now, the main hopes is X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, they should put a halt on the MCU timeline.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want to get back to Wolverine. Joshua Vegas says the multiverse arc is too milked.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
they're overdoing it in the fact.
And Mike Patterson says looking forward to Sentry possibly being a movie in MCU.
Sentry, supposedly Stephen Young, the actor for Glenn in Walking Dead and the voice actor for Invincible, has been rumored to be playing Sentry. So that would be pretty good.
So listen, the Marvel universe, I said Black Panther's in position to really take off. Marvel has the position to take off to the next level. they've just got to figure this out. It's not like they're completely lost with this. They just have to figure the thing out. They have possibilities with Guardians of the Galaxy. They have possibilities with Fantastic Four. Now, you just mentioned Wolverine and the X-Men, and they killed Wolverine, I think, at some point.
And
Well,
X-Men,
in Logan, where Wolverine had died, they had stated that they're not going to really mess up with that storyline because Logan is technically in the future, is more like later down the line. I think this current Wolverine that's going to be playing in Deadpool Wolverine is more of a like a younger version, and might possibly from what I saw in Deadpool and Wolverine, it seems like they're going to go with like the trailer and all that stuff. It seems like they're going to go with the storyline of Wolverine possibly killing all of the X-Men because Mysterio had tricked him. So
as I say that about Wolverine, then you think about Deadpool. Wolverine and Deadpool are supposedly going to be collaborating in the next film, which is due out this year or in 2025.
it's due out this year in July, I think.
Whoa, okay. I haven't seen a lot of hype for that. What do you guys think
Oh
about
no,
this?
there is definitely hype. There's not hype. There's more hype, but then there's more weariness behind it because then again, this is a MCU. This is the first iteration of Deadpool joining the MCU, and also the X-Men Wolverine joining the MCU. So people are having their doubts, but there are some examples that can people are hopeful for in Deadpool Wolverine, such as that MCU allowing it to be an R-rated movie.
Okay.
That,
Yeah.
So that already shows the leniency and like kind of the creative um decision to really like let it be its own, like not let it be its own thing, but like kind of like let them do their thing, like Ryan Reynolds and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really interesting about that, and you thought when they threw the rated R label on Deadpool, you're going, man, I don't believe they've done this. It doesn't matter. People are going to go see it anyway. Sometimes it brings in more people. I remember I got my daughter Nicole, as you guys know, your cousin fooled me when Deadpool came out. She was only 14 years old. He said, "Hey, Dad, let's go see Deadpool." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go see Deadpool." And I didn't realize it was rated R. I didn't know it was rated R. And we got in there, and I just saw some of the scenes, and I'm like, "Hold on, wait a second." And I looked at her, and I said, "You got me. You got me. You fool." And it didn't. Okay, it was. She was 14 at the time. I didn't think I should be watching that with her, but you know what? The film was great. It was still a great film. It's not gonna. The Marvel universe is so huge that even that doesn't take away from the fandom. And I think when you look at Ryan Reynolds, portrayal is very similar to Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Iron Man. He kills it. I mean, Ryan Reynolds just dominates as Deadpool.
Yeah, it's just like with Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man and Hugh Jackman, and
his delivery of the lines.
He's somebody that's perfect for that character and completely represents that character in his own personality as well.
He's perfect for that character. And as I've said all that about Marvel, what do you guys think the problem is with DC, and why is it, do you think they can't compete with Marvel?
Story, like
mainly because actors, like they didn't really have like they're all over the place with different actors. They didn't. Well, one thing that was different from DC, that they started something and then they never finished it, like with the whole Batman versus Superman, and then the Man of Steel, and then to the Justice League, that they completely scrapped it, and then now they're starting anew. Like they're never really like going. What was different was because MCU had Iron Man and they had the ball rolling, and it was pretty easy to keep the ball rolling. But DC's problem is to just get that ball rolling.
Yeah, I think, you know, DC again, it reflects the comic book. I mean,
Mm.
I liked DC when I was growing up reading that. I liked DC. DC was cool. You had JLA and you had Aquaman and you had all these different guys, but it's like it still ain't as cool as reading a Marvel comic book. I mean,
Oh
there's
yeah.
just no comparison. And the films are that way to me. You know,
Mm.
and every now and then you'll run into a real DC fan, like they love DC, and you're like, whoa, what planet did you anyway? But they're dedicated DC fans, and
Mm.
again, they don't translate well from the comic book to the screen. However, they got it right with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series.
Oh
Batman
yeah.
Begins, Dark Knight, and I think Dark Knight Rises. I forget the order of those three. Killed it. I think, what's the actor's name? Justin Bateman. What's his
Christian
name?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Out of all of the Batman
Wait,
films we've ever seen,
yeah,
it's
Mm.
Christian Bale, right?
yeah. I guess.
Out
Yeah.
of out of all of the Batman films we've ever seen, we've seen a ton of them. They've had a lot of them made. I mean, Michael Keaton's been Batman, Val Kilmer's
Mm.
been Batman, George Clooney's been Batman, Ben Affleck's been Batman, Adam West and that dorky Batman from the 60s. And then
Yeah.
you get Christian Bale. And
Mm.
Christian Bale absolutely encapsulates a version of the DC comic books Batman called the Detective Series.
Oh yeah.
That comic book series I thought was as good as any Marvel comic book that I had ever read when I was a kid. I'm like, I love the Detective Series.
Mhm.
This Batman is like the real deal. And
Yeah.
just what's his name again? Christian Bale, right?
Yeah. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, he absolutely nails the Dark Knight. What's your opinion of that, guys?
Oh yeah. He definitely nails it. Like just the Dark Knight in general with like not just Christian Bale as Batman, but also the Joker and all like the Bane and all stuff. There's just everything around that was just everything was just good.
It's all in the demeanor. He carries that role so well. It makes you feel like you're really watching like Batman, like Bruce Wayne. Like
Yeah.
that's him.
Well, mainly his portrayal of Bruce Wayne rather than Batman. Like his Bruce, like he was a really good
That's
Bruce
true.
Wayne. Like he really did fit the role of how Bruce Wayne would be.
Christian Bale is one of the finest actors we have today in the business. He's a
Mhm.
great actor. And I did not know that he was, I think he's either from Great Britain or Australia. I forget which.
Yeah.
And there's no hint of an accent.
Hmm.
In any American film he does, you just can't, and so you got to give him a kudos for that. But I just think his portrayal, yeah, and you could say his portrayal of Bruce Wayne is more riveting than Batman himself as far as how well he does it. But I think that film, those three films, put DC kind of on the map, gave them a little bit of respect.
Oh yeah.
You know, you can look at, I can go all the way back to Michael Keaton's portrayal of Batman in 1989 or whatever it was, 90, I forget what it was. And Jack Nicholson played the Joker. And that was a good one. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
actually a pretty good film.
Mhm.
And then they just dropped off with these, but they were so bad with Batman Forever, and like I said, George Clooney and Val Kilmer, they were just not good. And then all of a sudden, here comes the Dark Knight series, and it puts DC, well, not DC, it puts those three films on a level par with any film that Marvel's ever done.
Oh yeah. It definitely stood their ground like with just those three movies during that time and completely competing against movies like the Avengers and Iron Man and Hulk.
And so now you get another version of the Batman, the latest iteration of Batman. And I wish my son Gabriel was here because Gabriel likes this particular, the Batman, better even than the Dark Knight. Your opinion of that, guys?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This Batman is very like more detective like. it definitely showed a different side to Batman rather than just flying and fighting all these superpower bad guys and like kind of like just him against the world. There's more. It took more of a detective aspect to him, which really and more like a dark, gloomy environment of Gotham, which definitely like showed a different side of Batman in general.
That's the way he has to be portrayed. He's a dark dude, and you
Mm,
got this element of doom during the entire watch of the film. The intensity, the methodical nature of the violence, because he's not playing around. And the Dark Knight series and this Batman are the only iterations that I've seen that capture, as I was saying before, the detective series comic book.
mm.
Like
Oh yeah,
that iteration comic book, that Batman was a bad dude.
yeah.
Like he would take you out of here.
Uh-huh. And his detective skills like really showed why Batman is labeled as the best detective. Like when people say Superman, he's the Man of Steel, but when people say Batman, he's the world's greatest detective. So it definitely showed that side very well.
Why do you guys think that the Academy Awards, every year you look at all these people that win Best Actor and Best Actress, Best Film, all these different things, and you never see a superhero film considered as Best Picture? You never see an actor from one of these films considered as Best Actor. I think the only film, superhero film, that actually got an Oscar for the Best Actor was for The Joker. Uh,
Mm,
Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor that year
yeah.
for The Joker, which was amazing. It's like it's like out of all these films, what did you guys think of The Joker?
The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix was very good. It definitely didn't really show more action than I thought it would, but it definitely showed kind of like the origin and like kind of what goes on in the
Yeah,
Joker's
it
mind.
took you through the mind of the Joker, like
Hmm.
how it developed.
And how and like it showed how he became the Joker, and now in the newest movie, the Joker 2, that's gonna be with I think Lady Gaga playing as Harley Quinn. Um,
Okay.
they're gonna be very good with that one.
What was the girl's name that played Harley Quinn she played in the Barbie film, but she was Harley.
Margot Robbie.
She was great.
Oh
Matter of
yeah.
fact, didn't she do a standalone as Harley Quinn?
Yeah, she did Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, which
And you know
didn't
what's
really do
unfortunate?
well.
It didn't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
well, but it wasn't her fault. It was the writing
Mm.
and the way they did the film, because she's a great Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah,
You
she
know,
she she embodies that character very well. She can very turn on and off her crazy.
yeah. And so you look at DC, they don't have anything going. I think Ryan Reynolds actually was Green Lantern many years ago before he got involved as Deadpool. Fell
Mhm.
flat on its face. Terrible movie.
Oh yeah,
Boring. You'd fall asleep in
they
the middle of the film.
they even make jokes of it in the newest Deadpool movie, basically making fun of like Ryan Reynolds' portrayal of Green Lantern.
It
So it's
was
pretty
so
funny.
bad. And so much like Chris Evans as Human Torch and fell on his face, he came back as Captain America and found the right role for him. But,
Mm.
you just look at, okay, now what about Aquaman? What do you guys think of that?
Well, I haven't really seen the Aquaman movies, but in my opinion, they are more going with it's kind of like it's a weird situation with DC because instead of going with the characters that people want to see,
Yeah.
they want characters that like they just go with characters that are already good, like say
Popular
Aquaman, like
characters.
popular characters in their mind, like Aquaman,
Just throw them
which
in there. Throw them in the plots. Hopefully it works. No,
yeah.
you gotta. If you're not taking from the source material, you're gonna drag the audience in an unknown story. Like what's happened. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
So Michael J. Patterson said Heath Ledger actually got an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor as the Joker in Dark Knight. I forgot about that. He did.
Yeah,
I forgot about
that's good. That's
that. And Heath Ledger was a great Joker.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the Batman version with Michael Keaton when Jack Nicholson portrayed the Joker. I mean, for myself personally, I just prefer Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson is just a sick, maniacal dude, man. In just about everything he portrays, and the Joker was perfect for him. However, Heath Ledger was every bit as good, if not better, than Jack Nicholson. I just like Jack Nicholson's, kind of comedic escort with the insanity.
Yeah,
Whereas,
he
you know what I
kind of
mean?
separated. I feel like Jack Nicholson he kind of separated the comedy and this insanity, but then Heath Ledger kind of mixed them together, and that in my opinion really makes the Joker, because his jokes are really not meant to be funny, more scary, more insane and crazy.
So, and to your point, he was absolutely insane. I mean, you're looking at the screen, you're like, yo, this dude, he's got it. That's the Joker right there. But the reality too is, I think the Academy gave him that award because he committed. I don't look. He committed suicide, so it was a posthumous, presentation to him because he had taken his life. But at the same time, I mean, he did. He won an Oscar, and he deserved it. I think it's sad that they never recognized Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man.
Yeah.
He didn't get any love at all.
What do you mean, Robert Downey Jr.? Like he doesn't get love?
He's never been nominated for Best Actor for his portrayal
Well, yeah.
of Iron Man.
He's definitely loved it. Well, in that aspect, I think the Oscars it's mainly not the people that are choosing. It's mainly the executive
it's the stinginess towards superhero movies.
Yeah, is the stigma
Right.
that they have towards the superhero movies, that they don't really think it's Oscar worthy unless it's like a standalone, not really superhero film. Even like the Joker, even though it's a superhero character, like in simple terms, not really a superhero film. They didn't really show like action and like all that stuff. It was more like a storyline and like more of like a portrayal of it than anything.
I totally agree, and it got him, an Oscar. And he, I've never seen the Joker. I've never been a big fan of watching a villain film per se. Like I just never been a big fan of that, like standalone villain. But I've got to watch it one of these days. I heard it was a great film. He did win an Oscar. And Michael Patterson, thank you for reminding me that Heath Ledger also won an Oscar for his portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight. Let me wrap this conversation up, guys, and ask you, do you think that Marvel made a mistake by ending the Avengers and just putting just ending it all with the end game? Did they make a mistake?
Well, personally, no. I feel like all good things should have a good ending.
Yeah.
Like they
yeah, I think the route that they went was good, ending the Avengers. Well, not ending the Avengers, of course. They weren't really ending the Avengers. They were kind of, their goal was to pass the torch, like from Captain America, passing it to Anthony Mackie and all that stuff, setting up for a new Avengers, a younger Avengers. But then their I guess greed in the aspect of just dishing out Disney Plus series like WandaVision and all that stuff completely kind of ruined the stigma around MCU, and they kind of prioritize quality over quantity. No, quantity over quality.
Yes. It just makes you wonder sometimes. Like I said, I always thought that they could probably, if they got desperate enough, to just say, "Oh, they're back, they're alive again." But it wouldn't. It wouldn't make sense, and it's not a comic book either. It's not as simple as just recreating the narrative and saying, okay, everybody's back now. They're not dead anymore. But I think they're in great position to come back. I think Cap 4, like I said, could be a great film. A lot of people may come out and see Cap 4. I guess it's going to be with Anthony Mackie, the new Captain America. We've got Fantastic Four. Is that coming out this year or 2025?
I think it's 2026 maybe. It's definitely going to be like later down the line.
Okay, good, because they're going to need some time to get it right. Good. And then you look at the Wolverine and Deadpool. Now that's going to be this July.
Yeah, this July.
Okay, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. Have they decided that they're going to do another one right now, or they're just finished?
No, Guardians of the Galaxy as a movie, as a franchise, is not going to be going. It's already ended. It ended with the newest one, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But the character Star-Lord is going to be coming back as maybe possibly an Avenger or something else in the story. But he's definitely coming back for, I think, Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars. That's going to be.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of get it, because you can't just continue this, this story over and over and over again. There has to be an end to it at some point. If you really think about the Avengers, how many films do they do? 5?
Well, the Avengers as like a title, they had the first one, and then Age of Ultron, and then Civil War wasn't really an Avengers. Then and then after Civil War, they had I think it was Infinity War.
Yeah, the first.
And then Endgame. So four
movies,
technically
like
5 because
5,
of Civil War,
had,
Captain America.
And then you had 3 Iron Man films, so you could kind of almost say that's 8.
Well, if the Iron Man is an Iron Man, it would be more than that, because Iron Man and Thor, they had Thor, Captain America. Those movies did well too, except Thor: The Dark World. That was one of the main. That was like probably like the only like MCU movie in the beginning era when they were doing things right that did bad. But
Thor started out really well, and then every film after that was less than. I think one of them was okay.
Well, they're all good. The first Thor, it was more setting up the character, so people didn't really like it. Mainly because it was not, it was not that much action. It was not really a superhero Thor movie. Thor: Dark World, same thing. But then once they had Thor, I think it was Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok really hit the ballpark, because it was a Thor movie, but then I think it was Chris Hemsworth really kind of brought a comedy aspect to Thor that now MCU has overused that comedy aspect and completely made a joke out of Thor in the newest one, Love and Thunder.
That's really bad, because he was funny in the Avengers. He was very funny, but you can't make a comic book comedian out of Thor. You can't do that to Thor. Thor's like one of those bad boys, like the Hulk or the Thing. I mean, they bring the damage. You can't make him a comedian.
Well, they had the perfect blend, in my opinion, in Ragnarok, with the perfect blend of action and like seriousness with the funniness of Chris Hemsworth and Thor. But after that, they even Chris Hemsworth had said that if they ever do a Thor movie, like the tone of the movie is definitely going to be different.
So in the Christian world, the closest that we've come, and it's a short film called Night Guard. And it's a Christian film. It's a superhero film. And whether or not they're going to actually go through and forward with a full feature length, I don't know. But if you guys get a chance, check it out. I think you can watch it on YouTube. It's called Night Guard. And just watch it and tell me what you think of it. It's really good. You've got the Bible involved, and you've got this guy who actually turns into a superhero, like kind of undercover. His mentor is a Christian old man with the Bible. And it's an interesting film. I like it. And it's like I said, give it a shot. It's on YouTube, guys. Get back with me with your opinion of it. I'd love to see the Christian world just kind of dive into it more because, as evidenced by the box office numbers, America wants superhero films.
Oh yeah, most
It's
definitely.
just that simple. That's what we're about. That's how we get down. Okay. Hey, so Academy Awards, get over it. Anyway, you're listening to the and watching the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on bogradio.fm, talking with my nephews, Andre and Diogo Cunha. My son, I don't know what happened to my son. He was supposed to be here, Gabriel Brown, but he was caught up in some traffic, so he'll be on the next show. Who's a real aficionado of what we're talking about. Man, would have been great to have had his commentary to go along with it because he definitely knows the superhero business. But we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you for stopping by and
thanks for having us
on the show. And hopefully we will be doing another one next week. I'll let you guys know about that. In the meantime, everybody stay safe and may the peace of Christ be with you and your families. God bless.
God bless.